Hi guys, my name's Andrew. Thanks for taking the time today. I'm sharing with you guys my project, RenoStart, uh, also known as helping friends get started with renovations, so I'm not constantly reminded that I can't afford a house. So this is me. My name's Andrew. I live in Sydney, and these are my lovely friends who actually all live in Sydney as well. One great thing about all my friends is they've all bought properties somehow in Sydney. I am one of those people who do not have a property. I live in Sydney, so but the thing is, so I'm at an age where everyone's buying properties, and every time I meet up with my friends, it's the same conversations. We're talking about their houses, and a lot of the time we're talking about their renovations. And the same thing is always coming up when my friends are talking about theirs, and that is their renovations are always costing way more money than they should, and they're always taking a lot longer than they should as well. It's a lot more involved. So when it came to thinking about this project, I started to think about two things. Firstly, how can I veer this conversation away from my friends' houses and talking about renovations? But secondly, and most importantly, was there a way that I could help them setting these expectations about renovations and kind of helping them assist in this? Because every one of my friends have not had a smooth ride. And that's what brought me to start thinking up RenoStart. So firstly, like from those initial conversations, what appeared to be the problem? So from those initial chats, I came up with, I guess, a hypothesis. It was that my friends who were unfamiliar with renovations felt unsure and uncomfortable regarding the costs and timings associated with renovating. They wanted to understand these details to avoid being overcharged, but they didn't know where to get this info from. Basically, my friends were afraid that because they didn't know about the costs and timings of renovations, they were worried that they were going to get ripped off. They were worried that people might take advantage of them because of this lack of knowledge. So from that hypothesis, I kicked off research, and that involved interviewing 8 of my friends. These are a bunch of my friends, all in their lovely houses. They were very happy to talk about their renovations and mostly talking about the pain points that they experienced throughout. So I interviewed about 8 people. That turned out to be around about 5 hours of interviews that I got to go through. And from that, I got to group them all together into a bunch of groups. And that allowed me to find the main pain points that my friends were experiencing. So the first one was preparation and research. My friends didn't know where to start off. A Google search really wasn't hacking it. They'd Google the job that they were doing. There was a bunch of articles, but they were just confused by what was involved. The second one was around contractors and consultations. Again, they weren't sure which contractors to use in their area. They didn't know who they could trust. And with consultations, they weren't sure how many they should do, that sort of stuff. And then the third and fourth, as we said, was the costs and the timings. So again, that lack of knowledge as to what things should cost and how long jobs should take were making them uneasy about jumping into the process. So from this, the MVP really was that preparation research part, but I also wanted to touch on the other pain points as well. So what was my proposed solution out of this? So from that research and identifying those pain points, I wanted to create an app that would allow users to discover costs and timings of renovation jobs, discuss renovation jobs with friends and community, and also search and communicate with contractors. That led to RenoStart. So from here, did a bunch of brainstorming, crazy eights, all those fun activities, got them all down, started doing a user journey. And at this point, when I felt like it was actually starting to come together, I realized that I was actually missing a really big part of the picture. And that big part of the picture was around this third point. my big question was, what about the contractors? So in my head, it was this really great app that would allow people to talk to contractors and find contractors. But what I realized was that I hadn't talked to any contractors. There was a big part of the experience that was missing. And if I was going to put energy into creating this app to be used between contractors and users, I felt like I needed to do the justice and interview some contractors. So I went back to my pain points and decided that I'd park the contractor and consultation part for now, and that I would focus on the other three, which was a good one because it allowed me to focus on the other three, and the contractor part was like a huge part, and I'd love to come back to that in like phase 2. So now that we had all that out of the way, I did some work, and that brought me to my first prototype. And I'd love to do a little, can we still see that screen? Just going to do a little demo. So originally I had like slides and stuff, but I thought I'll just take you through it. That was the easiest way to do it. So from signing up, basically you're given 4 different sections. So you're given a section to search for jobs. You're given a section to ask questions. You can save your jobs to refer to later. And then you also have a section to upload and share your jobs to the community. So with the jobs part, this kind of tied into that initial research part. So if I want to know more about my jobs, I'd search for a particular job. So in this case, it's carpet installation. You'd kind of filter that job as well. So what type of apartment, sorry, what type of dwelling. It would kind of give you different options as to what exactly you wanted to do in that area, how many rooms and budget, for example. And then from there, it would bring up a bunch of user jobs in that area. And most importantly, first and foremost, it would give you the average cost, the average time to give you an idea. And then from here, you can look into people's particular jobs. So there's a gallery of photos, and then you would be able to get details of the job, details of contractors to help you paint a picture of what you want to do. And also, I felt like the gallery would also give you some inspiration on that. With the ask section, this was an opportunity to open, to get some information from community. So you can ask particular questions to a community. It works as a forum, and then people in the community could answer back. You could go back and forth and get that information. And you can also search for particular jobs and get previous questions as well. Save is pretty straightforward, saving a job so you can come back to. And then with my jobs, this is you uploading your jobs to share with the community to kind of add to that. Same deal, you give a job a name, give it some parameters. You could upload photos, contractors that you've done, average cost, and then you would then be contributing to the community. So that is my prototype. Oops. So hopefully all of these come together to create some happy renovators. So now that I had my prototype, I got to do some user testing. So what did my friends think? So here's just some initial thoughts from user testing. The biggest one was they liked the idea of the community, but they also wanted to see professionals contribute to it as well. Some of my friends said I might not necessarily, but trust community people kind of uploading stuff about that. But at the same time, I had other friends saying that they really loved that community aspect because they felt like when they were talking to professionals, that again, they were kind of just afraid that they were just saying what they wanted to hear. They love the upfront average cost and time. They love the key deets. They were a bit confused by the my jobs part. Maybe it was just kind of like cleaning up the name of the different sections of the job. Another interesting one was what incentive does users have to share the job? Someone suggested gamifying it, having ranks. I thought that was interesting. Someone just said you should really make this, it would help a lot of people, and they just like the simplicity of the navigation. So from here, what's ahead for RenoStart? The first one is interviewing those contractors. I feel like that is a really cool part of the app, and I'd love it to become like kind of a tool for communication and to find contractors as well. That came out of user research. More user testing. I felt like I only got to user test a few people before the presentation. I think it was really valuable. I'd like to get more refining the prototype with that research and kind of just going through that. And then implementing more tools as well. So I think the idea of uploading your job would be better, safe. You could put in schedules, you could put in costs as you go. So kind of just making a larger incentive for people to use it for their renovations themselves. And most importantly, out of all of it, it'll give my friends something else to talk about, and we won't be wrapped up in their houses all the time. It's my preso. Thank you.